Good evening. This is the May 4th, 2022 Seminole County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. My name is Steve Smith, chairman for tonight's meeting. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This board is a 7-member board appointed by the Board of County Commissioners. A quorum has been established to hold tonight's meeting. Public hearing items acted upon by this board are referred to the Board of County Commissioners for further consideration. Tonight, board members present, we have Carissa Lawn, we have Richard Jarman, we have Walter Gondorf, and Bob Turnage. Staff present tonight are Mary Markowitz, Paul Chipak, Bill White, Doug Robinson, Annie Silway, Tyler Reed, Tammy Brushwood, and Stacia Henry. Staff, tonight's meeting will go as follows. Staff will introduce the item. The applicant will present the item. Audience members wishing to speak will then be heard. Please make sure you complete a comment card and give it to the clerk. Comment cards are located in the lobby. Audience speakers should restrict their comments to information directly related to the item being heard. Audience speakers will have 3 minutes to speak, or 6 minutes if representing a group. When called, speakers should approach the microphone, providing their name and address for the record. The board may ask questions of the speakers. After all speakers have been heard, public comment will be closed. The applicant will be given a chance for rebuttal. Any items shown, such as video, presentation, pictures, maps, must be left with the clerk for public record. Items shown from electronic devices should be emailed to the clerk. A motion will be made and seconded. Board discussion may occur and conclude with a vote. I will request a roll call vote for any split votes. The first item on the agenda is approval of proof of publication. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll hear public hearing items. Item number 1.
I'm sorry.
Minutes.
Oh, minutes. Well, I missed the minutes.
It's okay.
Approval of the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we'll hear the public hearing items. And number 1, do we have Annie?
Hi, good evening. Annie Siloway with Development Services. I will be presenting the Charisma Media Small-Scale Future Land Use Amendment and Rezone. This request is to consider a small-scale future land use map amendment from low-density residential and commercial to commercial, and a rezone from A1 agriculture to OP office for a proposed office building on approximately 3.59 acres, located on Wayside Drive, approximately a quarter-mile south of State Road 46. The low-density residential portion of the site is not consistent with the surrounding commercial future land use and higher-intensity planned development target industry. The change in land use from low-density residential to commercial would be a compatible transition between the adjacent properties that surround the subject site. The maximum intensity for the commercial future land use is 0.35 FAR, and the proposed building is below the maximum intensity. The proposed development will be required to meet the buffer requirements of Chapter 30, Part 67, and will be required to provide 25% open space. A community meeting was held on April 6, 2022, and approximately 2 people attended. A copy of the minutes and the sign-in sheet are attached in your documents. There are no floodplains on the subject site, but there are approximately 0.7 acres of wetlands on site, and a final wetland delineation will be required at the time of final engineering. The site is located in Seminole County Utility Service Area and will be required to connect to public utilities. There is no existing sidewalk along Wayside Drive, and the developer will be required to build a 5-foot sidewalk along the property frontage of Wayside Drive. Staff finds the proposed small-scale future land use amendment and rezone compatible with the surrounding trend of development in the area and is consistent with both the allowable use and density provisions of the commercial future land use and OP office designation. Staff recommends the Board of County Commissioners adopt the proposed ordinance enacting a small-scale future land use map amendment from low-density residential and commercial to commercial and a rezone from A1 agriculture to OP office for a proposed office building on approximately 3.59 acres located on Wayside Drive, approximately a quarter mile south of State Road 46. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the applicant here? Do they wish to say anything?
There.
Good evening. My name is Michael Holbrook. I am Director of Planning for Carnahan Proctor & Cross, 604 Cortlandt Street, Orlando, Florida 32804.
Thank you.
We are here to concur with staff's recommendation. I want to thank staff for their help in getting us through this process and look forward to answering any questions. We do have the owner and the contractor here if you have any questions, but we're ready to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. We don't have any public. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Do we have any questions for staff? Do we have a motion?
Nobody from the public, just in case.
No, I already asked.
No, I didn't get any,
Okay.
I didn't get any forms, and I haven't received any phone calls or emails.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to recommend the Board of County Commissioners adopt the proposed ordinance enacting a small-scale future land use map amendment from low-density residential and commercial to commercial, and adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from A1 agriculture to OP office, and approve the associated development order and detailed site plan for approximately 3.59 acres on Wayside Drive and approximately 1/4 mile south of State Road 46.
Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
Go ahead, Walter.
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, Southern Development Corporation, that's Doug.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Doug Robinson with Development Services. So this is a request, the applicant is requesting a rezone from agriculture A1 to C3 general commercial and wholesale on approximately 1.26 acres located on the north side of Connection Point, approximately 1/4 mile west of State Road 426, and as you can see, adjacent to State Road 417. The applicant proposes a contractor's equipment and storage yard to support its primary building, which is located on the south side of Connection Point. The subject property has an industrial future land use designation, which allows a maximum intensity of 0.65 floor area ratio, or FAR. The intent of the industrial future land use designation is to provide appropriate locations for heavy commercial uses oriented towards wholesale distribution, storage, and other industrial uses. The property proposes access onto Connection Point, which is classified as a local road. State Road 426 to the east is classified as a minor arterial and is currently operating a level of service C. Based on the aerial photos and preliminary analysis of wetland maps, there appears to be a small amount of wetlands on the east, north corner. So a topographic survey showing wetland delineation will be required at final engineering. The site is located within the Seminole County Utility Service area and will be required to connect to public utilities. Water and sewer capacity is available to serve the proposed development. The site will meet all development site plan requirements. Buffers and open space requirements will be determined at final site plan or final engineering approval and will be in compliance with Seminole County Land Development Code. Staff finds the proposed rezone compatible with the surrounding development and consistent with both the allowable use and density provisions of the industrial future land use designation, and finds that the proposed rezoning to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. A community meeting was held on December 20th. Reportedly, there were no attendees. I believe that information is in your packet as well. So with the recommendation, staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners adopt a proposed ordinance enacting a rezone from A1 agriculture to C3 general commercial and wholesale for a contractor's equipment and storage yard on approximately 1.26 acres located on the north side of Connection Point, approximately a quarter mile west of State Road 426. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Is the applicant present? Would you like to add anything?
Good evening, Tom McNamara, Southern Development and Construction, 2544 Connection Point, Oviedo, Florida, 32765. I developed the south side of the street into a commercial industrial facility. This north side was part of the original sale. We had planned on just making it into a contractor's equipment storage yard because that's what we're utilizing it for. Since this application's been in for approval for the last 6 or 8 months, I've acquired the next 2 parcels to the side of this, so we'll be coming back rather soon. Everything that's in that picture, basically, coming back soon to build another industrial complex on the whole thing, so it won't remain a parking lot on the side of 417. It'll become either through a PD or through additional C3 zoning and an industrial commercial complex. And I want to thank staff for their assistance during this process, and I'll be here for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the public?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the Board of County Commissioners adopt the proposed ordinance enacting a rezone from A1 agriculture to C3 general commercial and wholesale on approximately 1.26 acres located on the north side of Connection Point, approximately a quarter mile west of State Road 426.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Everybody good?
Yeah, we're good.
I'll call for a vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. And third, we have a land development code amendment, airport protection zoning land development regulations. So that's Tyler. Good evening, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good evening. For the record, Tyler Reed, Senior Planner for Planning and Development Services. This is a request to recommend an ordinance amending the Seminole County Land Development Code, providing for airport land development regulations consistent with Florida statutes, Section 333.03, amending Chapter 2, Section 2.3 to add to amend definitions. The Florida legislature has mandated adoption of protective land development regulations to assure compatible land uses adjacent to airports within the state. The area surrounding an airport could contain obstructions to air navigation, which may affect safety and the efficient use of navigable airspace. Section 333.03 Florida statutes requires every political subdivision having an airport hazard area within its territorial limits to adopt and enforce land development regulations to prevent or minimize such hazards. Where an airport hazard area encompasses more than one jurisdiction, the statute allows common airport protection regulations to be adopted under the interlocal agreement between the jurisdictions. These regulations must provide for a permitting process for construction or alteration of any potential obstruction in accordance with federal regulations. The interlocal agreement between Seminole County, the City of Sanford, and the Sanford Airport Authority brings the 3 jurisdictions together in joint compliance with Florida statutes and form the basis of establishment common regulations within their respective territories. A previous ILA between Seminole County, the City of Sanford, and the Orlando Sanford International Airport was adopted by the Seminole County Board of County Commissioners on July 20th, 2004. The current and approved ILA was approved by the City of Sanford on February 14th, 2022. On March 22nd, 2022, the Sanford Airport Authority adopted the ILA, and on March 23rd, 2022, Seminole County entered into the current and approved ILA, providing for the common airport protection regulations allowed under the statute. This agreement stated an intent to adopt such regulations, but did not formally do so. The proposed regulations drafted to meet the requirements of the Federal Aviation Administration and other relevant agencies were attached to the ILA for illustration purposes. With the executed ILA now in place, Seminole County can begin the process of formally adopting the regulations into the Land Development Code. The proposed ordinance would remove outdated airport provisions from Chapter 30, Part 61 of the code, replacing them with an updated set of regulations consistent with requirements of the Federal Aviation Administration and Florida statutes. Provisions of the new regulations include the following: establishment of permitting requirements in certain areas around the airport based on building height, creation of an airport height zoning permit application procedure, including review by airport officials, setting criteria for approval of height zoning permit applications, and designating the Development Services Director as the person responsible for administering and enforcing airport-related land development regulations within unincorporated Seminole County. Staff recommends the Board of County Commissioners adopt the ordinance amending Chapter 30 of the Seminole County Land Development Code to enact airport land development regulations consistent with Florida Statute Section 333.03, along with the attachment of the amendments to the Airport Land Development Regulations ordinance draft, distributed to the Planning and Zoning Commission on May 3rd, 2022. Staff also received email correspondence from a citizen concerning the proposed ordinance on May 3rd, 2022. And this concludes my briefing. Staff is on hand to answer any questions. Thank you.
Questions of staff?
Can you summarize for us what's been amended since our packets came out? We received some changes.
Right. So this was the amendments to the Airport Land Development Regulations ordinance draft. Basically, this is supposed to tie in all of the changes from the ILA to our Land Development Code regulations. I don't know, Paul might have more to say on that.
Thank you. Paul Chipok, Acting County Attorney. The amendments on the addendum sheet basically close some of the gaps that were in the draft. In the ILA, the amendments were included in the back of that, kind of in a generic form for adoption by both the City of Sanford and Seminole County. And it left to the discretion of the jurisdictions where they would place the authority for the review board. And again, it was determined that it would be placed with the Planning and Zoning Commission. So these amendments go through and clean up any references to municipal statutes and just leaving it with the county statutes, and then also clarifying that the authority rests with the Planning and Zoning Commission to act as the review board of any of the Development Services Director's decisions.
And so then would our motions need to include as amended?
Yes.
Something to incorporate this?
Yeah, as approved with the amendments that included in the addendum sheet.
Any other questions for staff? Can I hear a motion? Oh, public? Public. Yes, and do we have any public input? All right, hearing none?
I recommend the Board of County Commissioners adopt the ordinance amending Chapter 30 of the Seminole County Land Development Code to enact airport land development regulations consistent with Florida Statute Section 333.03.
Second?
Wait, and to include the amendments.
Yeah,
Amendments.
and to include
As
the-
provided.
Yeah, as provided.
And to include the amendments provided.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mary, do you have anything for us this evening?
Yeah, good evening, Commissioners. First of all, I'd like
to introduce our new administrative assistant, Stacia Henry. She will be assuming the clerking duties for the Planning and Zoning Commission as Ms. Brushwood has been promoted. So congratulations to her. So well, we welcome Stacia, and we look forward to working with her.
Yeah, we do too, and congratulations. to him.
Congratulations.
Send me around for the next few months.
Okay.
We're not kicking her out so
Okay, we're not
fast.
kicking it out yet? Good.
And the other thing that I'd like to announce is that we've begun our Envision Seminole 2045, which is our comprehensive plan review, and then we will make recommendations to update based on this vision document that we're creating. We had our first series of public listening sessions last week, a week ago. I have no sense of time now, but we will be having another session at the end of May, going to the board in June with a work session, and then having a community meeting later this summer. So if you would like more information about the project, you can visit the website. It's seminolecountyfl.gov/Envision Seminole 2045.
Yeah, I tried to make the one in Geneva, and I apologize I wasn't there.
Oh, you missed a good one.
Yeah.
But you can go on our website, you can watch the videos and take the surveys. And I
Oh,
encourage
okay.
you to do that and to share that information.
Okay, well, great. That being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Nice and quick.